Having finished creating a category to which our questions will be assigned, we will now start creating the questions themselves. I go to create new question, and that gives me choices of what kind of a question I would like to create. These are self-explanatory. I'm going to choose that I would like to do a multiple choice question, and I'm going to say add, and that brings me to this next interface. And this interface has these sections that once again are fairly intuitive, but I'll point out real quickly what they are. First of all, the question name. You may not want to have the entire question as the question name, so you can choose them at a glance. I know that my first question is going to be referencing an early interaction and Great Expectations, the question that the convict asked Pip. Then I'll put that in. Now I'm going to cut and paste that in as I created this in a Word document. As I right click it, you'll see I have paste as plain text as an option, which is also Control-Shift-V. And the default mark, it turns out there's going to be 5 questions. So the default, I would like it to be 100 all total. So I would like the default for this to be 20. And I'll put in that response for the question itself. And I'll see at the top of that, I can say that there's one answer or there are multiple answers allowed. Each of them can be worth a certain percentage. In this case, I'll have only one answer. This is the checkbox one uses to randomize the order in which the answers appear. Number the choices. I would like them to be A, B, and C as they appear for the student when they choose the answers, but I'm going to have to do this on every single question. It doesn't necessarily carry over. Now I'm going to put in the answers, and I'm going to put in the feedback they get to those. At the same time, I'm going to say that this answer, the first one I'll put in, turns out to be the correct answer, so the grade will be 100%. Now later, I can have this quiz automatically scramble the answers, so each answer will be in a different location. So I can consistently put the first answer as my correct response so long as I recall to do that when I've set up the quiz later on. You'll notice that this is the correct answer and that this comes up after they have answered that. They'll see later when they get feedback that it is the correct answer, and it gives them some logic behind why that's important. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to put in the distractors or the incorrect answers, the alternate answers, or as I said earlier, you could put in more than one correct answer or multiples of those. So I put in the other incorrect answers, and I indicate that the score they get is none. So it's not a partial percentage, although one could do that. So as I scroll down, you see the grade is none on all of those. And I go to the very bottom of this, and all of these that are not filled in just don't populate the test. They're not put up as blank, but I can ask for more blanks if indeed I wanted more choices. And then at the bottom of this, I can continue editing it, but if I want to go ahead and save it, or I can just hit save changes, which actually closes the space. And now I see that I have one question that shows up here under convict question, and then I can edit that further, I can duplicate it, I can take a look at it, or I can throw it away. If I want to create a new question, then I just go right there and hit create new question.